Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Session with Bible Passion. I know it's been a while, but I've been busy. I had really had a lot to do here and there, things and times. I haven't posted a video in a while, but I'm here again with another video. Tonight I'll be doing a story on Moses and Aaron. We have read the story or we've heard it all the time that Moses and Aaron, they did not get to enter the promised land. They both died before they could enter. Moses did see the promised land, but he did not enter into the promised land. No, we are gonna do a little study on it as of now, but I hope you guys are doing fine. And yes, let's get into the video. Our Father who art in heaven, Father, thank you for your grace and for your mercies. Thank you, dear God, for all that you have done and what you will do. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. Yes, so we're going to just jump into Numbers 20, Numbers chapter 20, and we're going to read. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month. And the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people crowed with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, what we and our cattle should die here? And wherefore have ye made us to come out of Egypt to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. Now I want you to tune into this part right here. I want you to tune into this part right here. Verse 11 says, Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock. But if we remember in verse 7 what the Lord said, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou there the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes. Now the Bible did not say the Lord told Moses to lift up his hand and smote the rock. That's his disobedience. He didn't follow the instruction. The Lord said, Speak to the rock. Moses smote the rock. And the Lord, let me go back from verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. Listen to what the Lord said. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believed me not. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. So one disobedience caused Moses, after 40 long years, one disobedience This disobedience caused him to not enter into the promised land. One, this disobedience. Going on to verse 13. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus said thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the travail that had befallen us. How our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel, and had brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand or to the left, until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. It will only without doing anything else go through on my feet. And he said, Thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his borders, wherefore Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because he rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. That is where Moses hit the rock twice. Now, I'm going to continue to read. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through the border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the coast of the land Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because he rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up unto Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, and shall die there. And Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there in the top of the mount. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. Now, I want to put a title. To this story for myself. It's going to be Disobedience is Costly. Disobedience is costly. Now, if we read going into Deuteronomy, you will see where Moses died in Deuteronomy. He died in the book of Deuteronomy. If you read the book of Deuteronomy, you will see that Moses died before entering the promised land. Aaron died here, but Moses did see the promised land. He saw the land of Canaan, but he did not get to enter into the promised land at all. Now, as I said, I want to put a title to this, and it's called Mistakes Are Costly. Mistakes are costly. And before I go any further, before I start to discuss, I want to tell you that, like, I can say mistakes are costly because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Like, I've made mistakes upon mistakes upon mistakes, like a lot of mistakes. And many of my mistakes that I've made, it has taught me a lot of stuff. Because there are mistakes that I've made already that no, in this time, I will not make it. I'm telling you. I can tell you. They say nobody is perfect. No one at all is perfect, and everyone make mistake. But they always say it takes a foolish man if you keep making the same mistakes over and over. Like, it doesn't become mistakes anymore. It's just become your lifestyle, your attitude. And so, like, going around in circles and coming back around, not changing how the circumference look, then you're going to be making the same mistakes over and over. And if you do not learn from the past mistakes, you will not make a difference right now. Yeah. If you don't learn from the past mistake, you will not make a difference now. It won't make a difference to you right now. Because I'm saying this to say the mistakes that I've made before, like, I can spot them coming from afar. Like, if it's mistakes with me falling on my face, and I remember the reason why I fall, and I see that reason coming again, I see the old script playing out again. If I made that mistake, then you can call me foolish, because just the way it had happened before, it's just the same way it's coming around. So I am supposed to be smart enough to see and know, spot it from afar. And so Paul said, I'm glad that I speak in tongues more than all of y'all, but I am glad that I made mistakes more than all of y'all. Like, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot. And so this is not here to judge anyone or anything like that. It's just a story in the Bible, and we're saying that the mistakes are costly, because we see that the mistake that Aaron and Moses made cost him. It cost both of them from entering into the promised land. Now, according to the Bible, see, many of us, if we are honest enough to say that some of our mistakes has cost us deeply, deeply. And sometimes like these mistakes, they are caused from pressure. And why I say pressure is because reading the Bible with these children murmuring all the time with Moses, I'm like, I feel like Moses was pressured, though God was with him all the way. I feel like he was pressured, he was frustrated, he was so tired of them complaining about everything, because Moses is not God. And God is the one who has been helping them and making ways for them, falling down manna from heaven, providing food, light, rest, and everything for them. And yet they murmured at the point of a little obstacle. They murmured and say, did they bring them all the way here to die and all of that? After what they have gone through every day, they still murmured. And I'm saying this because when I read the story, I can understand that Moses was frustrated. And I believe and I understand that Moses probably hit the rock because of frustration. I believe that he was very hungry and frustrated and tired of the complaining from the children of Israel. Numbers 20 and verse 10, it says, Moses said, you people are always complaining, so I will cause water to come from this rock. But right there is where Moses made the mistake, and that is where we want to zoom in on. Because see, it doesn't matter how frustrated we are at times, it doesn't matter how pressured we are at times, an instruction is an instruction from God. And when you have faith and you put your whole trust in God, like, sometimes you have to learn how to hold your composure. Me, for myself, every day I have to learn how to hold my composure, because people and things around you will allow you to just burst out. And I know I'm not lying, because we deal with people every day and situation arises every day. But we ought to understand that when He has given us an instruction, He knows. He knows, and He can't lie, and He can't go wrong. Some of the times we just fail to believe, we fail to understand what He's saying. And see, that cost us. And like Moses, we don't want to make such mistake, because it's been for 40 long years. Moses have been going back, going forth with these children, and for 40 years, and he still did not get to enter into the promised land. And I don't want to blame the children of Israel for this. I have to blame Moses, because he had given an instruction from God, and he has been walking with God for a many long time, so long, to understand that yes, when He has given you an instruction, because it's not the first instruction, He has given you more instructions before that. And we see what happened. Now I believe that the reason why the Lord forbid Moses is because when he did the thing where he hit the rock twice, he said, let me read it as the Bible said. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, hear now, ye rebelled, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. He said, must we? He did not refer to God. He said, must we fetch you water from this rock? Now, Moses, you're saying we as if you have the power to hit the rock on your own and let water come from it. No, you don't. So I believe God is saying, when Moses made a statement, like, God is literally saying, no, Moses, not you will cause water to flow from this rock. Not you, but me. But God will cause water to flow from the rock. According to the Bible, we see that Moses did not fully obey. He did not fully obey what the Lord instructed him to do. Right? He did not fully obey what the Lord instructed him to do. And like many of us, like even me, myself, we try to justify things at times. We try to find ways to go around things at times. Many of us, sometimes when we are frustrated and depressed, sometimes even tired, we tend to not follow instruction, and we act based on our feelings. And then when we realize that we have made a mistake, it's already too late. And then we have to deal with the consequence. Numbers 20:12 will tell you. Because after that, Moses eating the rock, in Numbers 20 and verse 12, it states that you did not trust me enough to honor me and to show the people that I am holy. Right? You did not show the Israelites that the power to make the water came from the rock. It came from me. Right? So you will not lead the people into the land that I have given them. Right? So we see that this is the reason why Moses and Aaron did not enter into the promised land. Because how Moses did it, if we look at it, he did not come in the name of the Lord and said, the Lord will allow water to come from this rock. He says, we will fetch you water from this rock. The instruction that God gave to Moses, he did not follow. And he hit the rock twice when he shouldn't have. He should have just spoke to the rock. Just speak to the rock. And let water come from the rock. And then they will understand that it is the Lord thy God that did it. And this story ought to teach us a lesson. As a matter of fact, there are so many different stories I can name in the Bible where we see that person face penalties because of disobedience. Disobedience is a thing, my people. We want to understand the consequences of being disobedient. Yes, a lot of people might say, yes, God will forgive you. Yes, he's a forgiving God. Yes, he's a forgiving God. But I want us to understand that when the Lord speaks, like, don't take it for granted. Like, people like, I'm so scared right now of making a mistake. And people will tell you, like, mistake, you have to make mistake because you have to learn from your mistake. Like, me and you, we're not the same thing. Like, how I'm being dealt with when I make mistakes, I don't know if you guys get dealt with the same way. Because like me, it's like my conscience. It is, I don't know what to call it. Like I can sleep if I know that I've done something wrong. So what I learned to do is to just do right. It doesn't matter what it costs. Just do right, because in doing so, doing right, it allows you to not cry. Doing the right things give you peace. If anyone knows this, you can be honest. Doing the right thing give you peace. Doing the right thing make you feel free. You're free, you feel free, and you feel at peace. Yeah. You feel free and you feel at peace. And so I want us to understand the purpose of being obedient. Disobedience will cost us a lot. And we don't want to say if we had known, or we don't want to say, oops, I did not remember, or oops, I'm sorry I did that, because for 40 years, Moses and Aaron with the children of Israel, mostly Moses for the 40 years. And see, they still did not get to enter into the promised land. And that would be a big turn off for any one of us, because if it was one of us who, like, let's see, not just imagine doing a thing for 40 long years. Just imagine doing a thing for 40 long years. Like anything. Just put something in place and say you're being prepared or consistent for 40 long years. Just choose anything. I'm going to use a job, for example. So at this job, there is a bonus, right? At the end of the year. But to get the bonus, you can't late one day, right? And for 364 days, I'm just going to put all the days in the year. For 364 days, you are early. And the one day to make 365 days, you late. So one day hindered you from getting the bonus. How upset would you be? Moses led those people for 40 good years, where they murmured and complained, and Moses did not give up. But because of his one disobedience to God, he did not make it to the promised land. His one disobedience to God. he did not make it to the promised land. No, we want to understand that God is not like man. And when he gives us an instruction, we ought to carry out the instruction that he has given us. Because at the end of the day, it's not for your friends, it's not for your children, it's not for your job, it's not for anyone. You are dealing with a man who cannot lie. The Bible said God would not be mocked. Whatsoever you sow, you shall reap. It doesn't matter what we do. He cannot lie. God has to be true and kind and honest. No lies not in him. So many a times when we do stuff or we say stuff or we act in a certain kind of way or we have done stuff and we think that, oh yes, because God is a forgiving God, yes, he will forgive you and he loves you dearly. But remember, him punishing us is just a part of the love. Him holding up the end of his bargain is just a part of the love. Many a times we don't like it, but we ought to understand that as children, our parents are going to groom us and guide us and give us the instructions that they want for us to follow. And if it is a case where we do not follow those instructions, they get mad. And sometimes they beat us. And I would rather get a beating from my parents than get a beating from God. I'm telling you, I'd rather take that beating. And I'm not saying that because any of us is perfect. It's that we have to try to go for perfection. I want all of us to know when God gives us our next instruction, we do not do like Moses. We fully obey. Not to let God say, because you didn't fully obey. Me, I'm guilty of it, of course. Because even right now, I'm talking like, if God gives me an instruction, something that I so do not want to do, it's going to be hard. And I'm literally being honest. He sits high and he look down low. He knows already in my heart. You think I did have to say this for he to know? He already knows. I'm just saying it for the audience so you can know that, like, yes, it's not like take it up. Many a times we procrastinate on some things that the Lord has told us to do, and many a times he gives us the instruction to do this or to go there, and we do the opposite. And that is what Moses did. And this is what happened. His consequence. He did not get to enter into the promised land. And as I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter the amount of good that we have done over the past years or over the past days. If yesterday we give away $1 million, if yesterday we give all our food to the poor, if yesterday we give all our clothes and everything we did good throughout the day yesterday, and today the Lord gives you an instruction to do something that you don't want to do, I'm telling you, I've always said this, it's better to obey no and cry. It's better to obey no and cry than to not obey no and laugh. Because, see, at the end of the day, when you realize that you had not obeyed and laugh in the moment, you see, when you are going to obey the next time, when you see what you have done now and you're going to obey future, you are going to cry obeying, and you're going to cry come back where you disobeyed. They said the last laugh is the best laugh. The last cry is the worst cry. So it's better if You obey now and cry. It will be over. It will just be one cry. But when you disobey now and for future, you want to obey then, you are going to cry. You're going to cry obeying, and you're going to cry come back to where you disobey. And I'm telling you that based on situations that I've seen in life. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you have a friend group. I'm just going to use a friend group, and the Lord gives you an instruction to leave that friend group. No, you don't leave the friend group. You're still in the friend group and you're laughing. Remember, you get an instruction, leave that friend group. It's not for you because it's not doing you any good. But you didn't leave. You're still there laughing. You're laughing in the moment. Right? You disobeyed and you're laughing in the moment. But let's say a couple months or even a couple years from now, you understand the reason why God had told you to leave the friend group, but you didn't. Because the longer you stay in something, you get more attached. It's harder for you to leave. So when He had told you earlier on, or wherever in the middle, or wherever He told you to leave, He told you at the right time. It would be better if you had cried then and leave. But after you reach a certain part, after soaking in for so long, for years or for months or for weeks, it's going to be harder for you to leave. That makes the cry harder, because then you get more attached to whatever it is, friends or family or love or spouse or whatever, or dating or whatever, whatever you want to put in it. The longer you stay, you get more attached, and so at that time the attachment will grow, and it's going to be harder for you to leave. That time now, when you're going to leave, you're going to cry to leave, because it's going to be more painful. So you're crying then, and then you have to come back to where God had told you, and you're going to have to cry again because you disobeyed. Friends, you don't want to go through all of that. We're going to have to obey God at all costs. Friends costs, family costs, spouse, whosoever it be, because you're trying to find your peace. So you're going to have to obey. Me, I'm also speaking to myself, because I'm guilty of disobedience. Me, I am. And so I hope this story from Moses will teach all of us a lesson to follow instruction. As the Lord said, say pick A, you pick A. Remember the disobedience of Adam and Eve from the beginning. Men have been disobedient. And we ought to learn the consequences of being disobedient to God. I'm telling you, I pray every day that the Lord will give me faith to be obedient. Give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that I may understand. Again, we all want to take a page and read it and understand that when the Lord give us an instruction, we go with the instruction that He has given us. It's not always easy being obedient. It's not always easy, but it is better to be obedient. It's better to be obedient, because the Bible tells you obedience is better than sacrifice. The Bible said it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Let us be obedient as much as we can, that we get to enter into the promised land. Not just see it, but we will enter in the promised land. Well, thank you all for watching this video. For all who will see now, later or next year, but I know this is going to reach many persons. It's the Lord working his work, and I thank you all. And it's always an opportunity to give someone to give their life to God. Let him change you and renew you and refresh you and make him yours. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and grant you his peace. Peace in your lying down, peace in your rising up, peace in your going out, and peace in your coming in, peace in your labor and peace in your leisure, peace in your laughter and peace in your tears. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, I say amen. Thank you and be blessed. And I will see you again with another video. Peace. Be blessed and enjoy your weekend.